episode of the House of Words podcast. We are your hosts. This is Nicole.
And Armani here.
And this week we've got some pretty good stuff lined up to chit-chat about. I'm kind of excited. There's been things going on in the world this week. First off, let's start off with our quarantine check-in. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Just all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like quarantine's starting to actually hit everybody. And you got a bunch of people getting cabin fever at this point.
Yeah, we're pretty deep into this thing. Texas has opened up though, in that you can go into restaurants and bars. Well, I don't know about bars, but restaurants and indoors are open, patios are open. So they have it set up to where tables are separated and to promote social distancing. However, you can just get your
food delivered to you
or get it to go is also an option. You know, Grubhub is a thing. There's lots of things to get delivery, so you really don't have to go outside. But it is kind of sad because I miss drinking on patios. I miss a good outdoor patio to sit on and drink and eat.
Just the overall experience is what you miss.
The ambiance. Yes. Of sitting outside with your friends and having some margaritas.
Actually looking forward to going places too. That's been a big one.
But we'll see. They're kind of coming back, kind of making their way back.
I don't know. I'm still pretty iffy about it. I think it's going to be a minute before I want to actually go sit down somewhere. Depending on the place, but...
Fuzzies patios open. Want to go to Fuzzies? I just want
see,
to Fuzzies.
patios are different.
I mean, that's that inside.
That's outside.
Fuzzies fish tacos are on point, so I kind of really... And their margaritas are great, and they have happy hour from in the morning from I think 10 to 3, and then another one from 3 to 7. They have a morning happy hour and an evening happy hour. And their margaritas are really good. But you can get them to go. So you could always just get your stuff to go. That's kind of crazy. That's the one thing, at least here in Texas, what coronavirus has done. It's you can roll up to a place and they will put a margarita in a regular fountain soda cup to go.
I feel like this quarantine, like I said last time, a lot of people are coming out of problems with. They're coming out of this with problems.
Ain't even the start. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this first half. We're going to talk about things we've been watching. So first up on the things that we have recently watched is Den of Thieves. So this movie actually came out about a year or two ago. In the movie theaters. I don't know how I missed it.
Yeah, I never saw any trailer for this. But then again, we don't watch live TV like that.
No, we don't. But I feel like with this cast, because it had a good cast in it. It had
Gerard Butler playing the most skeevy cop. At first, I thought he was a gangster. I had to restart it 3 times because of, watching TV and doing things, which I'm trying to get better at. But the tattoos, the beard, I was just this is the man who's been saving the White House. What's going on here? I didn't know how I felt at first. No, I know how I felt. I wasn't buying that shit at first. That's how I felt. It had him. You had, we should probably find out what Ice Cube's son's actual name is. That's not Ice Cube. Oh, wait, hold on. No, Ice Cube. I'm thinking 50 Cent. I was thinking about 50 Cent. Yes, I know that's not Ice Cube. I thought you were referring to 50 Cent. I was like, that's 50 Cent.
So Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is in this as well. So 50 Cent is in this. Ice Cube's son is in it. Who else was in it?
Guy from The Wire. Not the one that he was also in Orange is the New Black. He played Porn Stash. He just doesn't have the mustache and everything.
Porn Stash is in this?
He was the main guy. The one that was head of the...
I knew he looked familiar, and I didn't know what it was from, and I hated Porn Stash so much. I guess I blocked that out. Oh, shit. You know what? I didn't bother IMDbing any of this, because I just don't give a shit right now. So I didn't IMDb who was in the movie, but I knew he looked familiar, so that makes sense. Okay. Wow. It's giving me triggering Orange is the New Black vibes right now. I'm trying to get them out of my head.
Pablo Schreiber is his name.
His name's Pablo?
Yeah.
Okay. So Den of Thieves. It is a great action bank heist movie. You have this, these cops. First off,
I didn't know that LA was the bank robbery capital of the world. Not just the US, but the world.
It's crazy because that's not something you hear about often.
No, which is crazy because I didn't think people was really robbing banks like that, like that. And I think it said like every so many seconds. It was like less than a minute. So like we'll just round it up to a minute. It's like every minute a bank is getting robbed in LA. That's scary. Like we see all this other shootings and things like that, and bank robberies are happening. And I guess that's just mind-boggling. I guess maybe a lot of them just don't end up in shootouts is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Or they just end up getting caught, so it's not really a big problem. You know, I feel if people are that confident, just break into your banks every 2 seconds, you got a problem.
Would not want to work in a bank in LA once I've seen this like stat, but or you'd have to have, they probably get paid really well hazard pay. Like, I mean, granted, I had a job interview, and part of that interview was being told you'll probably get robbed and held at gunpoint. So how do you feel about that? So as a bank teller in LA, that's probably part of the interview process.
So every time they're just like, here we go again.
Yeah. We've been through this drill before. But anyway, so Ice Cube's son gets like pulled by the police.
O'Shea Jackson.
O'Shea Jackson. O'Shea Jackson Jr., because I believe that's his dad's name too.
Yeah.
So he gets pulled in by this unit of LAPD. They're like a special bank robbery task force is what they are. And they approach him on he's the noob type stuff in this crew, and they want to know what's going on, and they're pressing him, and he's like, I don't know shit, they don't tell me shit, they told me stuff. And the crew is planning this like ultimate heist of robbing like this treasury place where armored cars drop off their money.
Mm-hmm. And they basically go and shred it up after a while.
Yes. So they're planning this ultimate heist in this situation. Fast forward, the heist is going off. So like once it goes into action, I was rooting for them, to be honest with you. Like I wanted them to succeed. I was like, yo, they pull this off.
I feel like they put too much in place also for it to fail. It was like, how did y'all mess this up?
Yeah. Well, obviously, it got messed up because, so what they did was they started robbing one bank, or set up one bank, like they were holding people hostage as a diversion. And really, they just went underground under that bank to get out, basically to have all the cops in that task force focus on this one spot so that they can go underground and get into that building and get in and get out. And they had it set up so smooth. Oh, you know who else was in it? The dude from Walking Dead. I don't know what his name is on The Walking Dead. I don't remember. He is just Ezekiel's right-hand man. Yes, but he's also in this too. So shout out to him. So like they had it planned so well, like just everybody in their spots. And then Gerard Butler's like, something seems off about this. So he goes up into that, like it starts to click for him that this just doesn't seem like where they would want to rob. Like this is their MO to go in here like loud and shit like that. So he goes into the bank and then realizes that they blew a hole in the ground and they went underground and they went somewhere else. So he jumps into the tunnel and he figures out where the tunnel comes up at. And then all of a sudden, like his team was like in the right area. Like that kind of threw me. I was like, how
did you guys just happen to be there?
Yeah, like how did you know exactly where they would, like, I guess because they went to the block. So you would assume they would pop up pretty close to the destination they were hitting. So they were kind of like driving around those blocks trying to see if they spotted one of them. Mm. So getting into that building was pretty dope. They put O'Shea Jackson inside an actual rolling vault, and Pablo and 50 rolled the card up with the cash, and he was actually inside of it. Very Ocean's 11-esque. This happened in Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 12 when they put the little Asian guy inside the bank vault thing and he got out. You've seen Ocean's 11?
Yes, I've seen Ocean's 11.
Okay.
But the Chinese guy?
The little Asian
guy, yes.
So they used an Ocean's 11 trick to get in here, which I guess anyone who does bank robberies on this level had to have been inspired by Ocean's 11. Like the OG Sinatra, Dean Martin, Ocean's 11. At least that's what I'm telling myself in my head, because I'm going to romanticized bank robbers now at this point.
It's like they've all got a cause.
They've all got some mission. They've all watched Ocean's 11 and then grew up and said, I want to be Danny Ocean. Didn't really go too well for Danny and the gang neither, but okay. So it's going off, and at this point, like, I am on the edge of my seat watching this. Like, I am genuinely intrigued and tied in to this at this point and enjoying this thoroughly. But of course, Gerard Butler's character spots OJ. Let's call him a little Ice Cube. I'm gonna keep fucking that up, I'm sure.
He's Ice Chip.
We're not calling that man Ice Chip. He's coming out. They spot him and they grab him up, so they know they're in the right area. Then the other guy, who was from The Walking Dead, after, like, the rest of the team, like, they got the money, or, like, they packed up the money and they threw it down a garbage disposal thing to get it out. That's how that was the plan, to get the money out. It was to put it in packets, threw it down a garbage chute, ends up in a thing, garbage truck comes, picks it up. I thought one of them was going to be driving said garbage truck.
Which would have been smart.
I guess, but they probably didn't have enough time to, like, make it so they could get in there, maybe? Or you would have to deal with the delivery truck that was scheduled to go there. If someone was like, yo, y'all already picked up, what the fuck? That probably would have alerted people sooner. So that's probably why that didn't go that route. But
like when they showed up to the bank late initially.
Yeah, they were a little bit late to the bank because they got held up, obviously, at their prior bank. They get out and the coast seems pretty clear, but as they are beating up Little Ice Cube in the back of the truck, then he tells them where the meet point was. Which at first I was like, damn, how he give it up that quick? Like, man, that's trash and that sucks. It's all gonna go downhill from here. Like, they weren't even beating his ass that bad.
Yeah, I was like, I don't understand why you just give them a fake location. Why is that never the first go-to?
Yes, because it's like
they gotta go check it out.
Yeah, exactly. Just give a fake location. But he gave them the actual location, so they were burnt. And then the dude from The Walking Dead called them and told him, hey, he's been burnt. Where do you want me to go? And he hung up on him. Porn stash hung up on him. So I was like, yo, dude's a piece of shit. That kind of sucks. Like, he's going to cut both of them out of this job. That's trash. So him and 50 try to, they go to a salvage yard. And I have to wonder, how much do you have to pay a salvage yard to dispose of an armored truck for you? Like, because I would be asking for a lot of money. And I'm going to want my money up front. Like, I don't want my shit on the back end.
Yes,
I want it now. You're not going to pay me later for a job like this. And or maybe they're on a retainer. Like, maybe they've been paid in advance for this kind of shit. But we're not talking about just smashing up a car that had a body in the back. We're talking about a armored truck. So, but that's what they went there for. They burn their clothes. They're dipping out. They get in the truck. There's another guy who's in this movie as well, who has just you've seen him in a lot of heisty movies. And I don't know his name either, but you've seen him in a lot of stuff. The other guy they had with them.
Heisty movies.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but he's always like that kind of just, when you need an additional white gangster, it's him.
Tommy? That's who I think of. That's who you just described. Tommy from Power.
Tommy is in the Ozarks now.
Oh,
getting
yeah,
his ass beat by
Ruth.
By Ruth, yes. That was my shit. When she threw him off that fucking boat. Have we talked about Ozark?
No, I don't think we have. Actually, yeah, I think that was when we first came back to podcasting.
Okay. But what else? So, not Tommy. He predates Tommy and the white boy gangster.
Mark Wahlberg?
No. Mark Wahlberg was not in this movie. Thank God. Because then it would have probably been shit, to be honest with you. But anyway.
I don't know. I feel like Mark Wahlberg's gangster it matches Gerard Butler's skeeviness.
So then it would have been just too much. Like, it would have been too much. You already got Gerard Butler questionable as fuck in this character. We can't insert Mark Wahlberg's over the top ass acting too. So, nah. Okay, that'd have been just too much. But anyway, so back to now shit's hitting the fan. And it just goes all downhill from there, yada, yada, yada. A great shootout scene in between the cars. Like...
With Gerard Butler and Pablo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, the tactical way that they moved in between those cars, and both sides, like the good guys and the bad guys moving in between those cars, during that shootout, I also enjoyed. He pulled a saw out that bitch and started firing. Okay, so here's my thing. If you got a saw on deck, why don't you have grenades? Like that was my immediate thought. Why do you not have smoke grenades? You have a saw in your backseat, but you don't have smoke grenades. Because I would have just could just pop smoke and been out. But I mean,
he went there to kill him. That was it.
No, I'm not talking about Gerard Butler's character. I'm talking about Pablo's character.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then they didn't even take any of the money with them. Like, they bailed out that truck without any of the money. So how did they think? Like, at that point, it was just abandoned mission. Like, we did all of this for naught.
I mean, it's either that or go to jail.
I think it was either that or die at that point. But, I mean, I would at least have grabbed one of those bags. Because if I'm going to run for my life, I would have tried to make it out with something.
Shove a couple in your pockets.
Right? They didn't. They just left everything there. So, they all get murked. At the end of the day, they all get shot. 50 Cent, when he got shot, and then that black cop that sat there with him as he was dying, I was like, I appreciate that scene. It's all right. It was not missed on me. It landed with me at least. I got it. I saw it. Pablo's murder, or him dying, getting that bullet through the gate. Again, at this point, I was still rooting for them to get the fuck away. I was just like, yo, and they all died. So they're all down, and now the cops are kind of converging on this. They were in traffic. They were stopped in traffic is where that shootout had started at. So now the cops are converging on there, and they get back to the truck where they had, O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character handcuffed in the back seat. They go back and his ass ain't there. And they're like, what the fuck? Where'd this guy? Oh, we left out the part that they took the money out the garbage truck. So the garbage truck that had the money in it, they rolled up on him, told him to get the fuck out, and they stole his garbage truck. So that would be a weird experience as a garbage man. Who hijacks a garbage truck? That's so random, I would think.
Yeah, I'm not fighting back at that point either.
Fuck no.
All right, go ahead, take it.
I'd lose my life over a goddamn garbage truck. You can have this. So yeah, so that's how they took the money back out that garbage truck and got that. So he gets back and he's gone. He's not in the back of the truck anymore. And he's like, well, where the fuck did he go? So then they go to the truck that had the cash and whatnot and everybody else in it. They open up these bags and there's no money. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, they had the little what's it called?
I don't know.
Foam things.
Some fluffy shit in it. And we're like, oh my God, there's no money here. And then they had the audacity to say that the vault place balanced, all the money there was accounted for. So you're like, oh man.
See, when they did that, I thought they were trying to make it like a they killed them for no reason kind of thing. I was like, wait, you already did try to rob this bank. But
so I too was slightly bewildered. And then we get the flashes to where Gerard Butler kind of goes looking for O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character. He goes looking for him at that first bar. And the guy's like, well, he quit 2 weeks ago. He doesn't work here anymore. The guy working in that bar was Victor Newman from Young and the Restless. So you will not probably know who that is. Yeah. But older people my age whose parents watched Young and the Restless forever would recognize. I thought he passed away a few years ago. But he also makes random appearances and things every once in a while. So I thought it was kind of dope that he was in this movie. So he was a bar owner and he's like, he doesn't work here. And I think at this point is when he saw the picture on the wall that had them in it playing soccer together. And then we get this cutscene to another bar, and we find out that O'Shea Jackson's character, the dude from The Walking Dead, somebody else that was also slightly involved in this caper. That big Russian-looking white guy. I don't even remember what he did halfway through this movie.
The one of just muscle for the most part.
Yeah.
There were a lot of guys that were just stand around muscle.
Yeah, there was. We're all in it together, and they took the money. So they got the money. No, at first, okay. So when they were first showing how the fact that they all worked together and then they knew each other, I was like, wait a minute, did they just set them up to just get this other bank robbery team out of the picture? Is that what happened? Because I was like, where is the money? And part of me is right now really trying to remember where the fuck that money went. Did they get the money?
I believe so. I felt like that was the end. Last thing I remember was Gerard Butler going into that bar. and you trying to find them.
Yeah. So, watch Den of Thieves if you have not watched it already. Then you can also figure out where the fuck the money went or what they did, like what their whole purpose was. Was it just to cap this team and get them out the way, or what? It was definitely an enjoyable movie. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Did you like it?
I liked it. So, and I'm not usually one for action movies either, but it was a good movie.
Hey, so you're gonna run that back that you don't want to watch action movies from the last podcast?
Still don't want to watch action movies, but
all right, fine.
I'll give you your flowers.
This one was watchable. All right, so moving on, we watched Upload episodes 1 and 2.
Yes, it's on Amazon Prime. If you have not checked that out yet, go ahead and check it out.
So Upload is a futuristic sci-fi comedy that takes place in the year 2033, I believe is where they were at. So not too far in the distant future.
Yeah, it's only 13 years, which is funny because they keep making these sets so close to now, and it's like, we're not going to be there in 10 years.
No fucking way.
We thought we'd have hoverboards at this point.
And we still don't. Anyway, so the premise of this show, now I will tell you, I've finished it. I've done the series. I've finished it. I'm done with it. But we're just going to talk about the first 2 episodes right now. So the premise of this show is in the year 2033, when people die, you have the ability to upload them, or before they die, you have the ability to upload them into the cloud. It's basically cloud-based storage, which is like a customized living facility based on what you can afford to pay. So depending on how much you can afford to pay is how fancy of where your loved one's conscious will go.
It's very reminiscent of the San Bernardino episode with Black Mirror.
Yes. So very similar to that, which I think is a great concept. But the only thing I don't like about this concept is that, one, you assume people want to live forever. Like at some point there's that question there. It's like of people wanting to live forever. Mm-hmm. But it is more so of a way for your loved ones to visit you and you still to hang out with your loved ones. Because when you get uploaded, you retain your memories. You have an avatar. Well, and where the location where this was set mainly, if the place is fancy enough, if you have enough money, you can get put in like a luxury place to where it's like living in a resort.
Yeah, it's like a resort lodge type.
Yes. So you have an avatar, and it's like you.
And you also get your angel.
Yeah. Okay. So wait. Well, okay. So basically, that's what the premise is. So what happens is the main character, this dude named Nathan, we meet him, we meet his family, we meet his eccentric ass girlfriend, and they're out on a date. They're self-driving cars. The self-driving cars are pretty cool. The moment when he pulled out the PS3 controller to drive his car, like a race car, I thought was hilarious. I was like, okay, I just want to do that. Can I do that in 2033? Probably not, but...
Yeah, it's a mix of like Black Mirror and iRobot.
Yes, very much so. So that was cool. Very, I like futuristic shows. Like, I like that. So, futuristic satire is probably the best way to comedy satire. So, we have self-driving cars. Him and his girlfriend are out on a date. And it already seems kind of like...
He doesn't really like her.
Yeah, like he's just with her. I don't know
because
why.
She's pretty.
Yeah, probably, and she's fun too. So they're out, shagging in the car. The seat's fully reclined into a bed. So that was honestly, when that part, I was like, yo, that should happen. Like, could you imagine like just going on a date in your car and like it just drives? So you have all this like nice scenery and scenic, like, I don't know. I thought that was cool. But anyway, I digress. So he gets back into his car because they're going to meet up at her place. Cool. And his car fucking crashes. So his self-driving car crashes into the back of a truck and he dies. So, or he gets severely injured. As they're in the hospital, wheeling him to the back, they're like, your vitals are dropping. Do you want to get uploaded? And she's like, oh, well, my family, she comes from a wealthy family. They have all this money. They have all this space already paid for at one of the nicest upload centers, where like generations of her family have been going. She's like, we'll upload you there. And he's like, wait, what? Where's, like, and I talked to my mom, and like the nurse says that his vitals are dropping and he doesn't have a lot of time. So he has to make a rush decision to be uploaded. And she's like, oh, well, we can be together forever. And she's like, whoa, I don't think I want that right now with her. But obviously he makes the choice to get uploaded. So he gets uploaded. And when he gets there, that's when we then see that you get an angel who is essentially a customer service rep, like the reps who
help you navigate heaven.
Yes, or navigate the cloud. It's not even heaven, it's the fucking cloud. So they help you navigate, settling in, getting adjusted, because you're not real. Like, you're not real anymore. Like, you're not in a human body. And, and I think they said that the success rate of transfers was like
50%?
I thought it was like 40. Well, I thought there was a 60% fail rate is what it was. Something like that. So I think there was a pretty high fail rate for people when they get uploaded. So the angels kind of walk them through it and kind of get adjusted, but they're there in case, again, they're customer support. So he gets there and, he gets in, and again, he has his avatar. One of the things I thought was pretty funny was when he went to the mini bar and he was trying to buy stuff. And
it was like pay $5.99 upload. Oh.
Yeah, so you had to buy. So there's fucking in-game purchases, like loot crates in this place. That's what I thought of. I thought of loot crates. I was like, there's in-game purchases essentially, which immediately went to DLC packs.
Yeah, so you got to upgrade your cloud.
Yes. I just want to
Which is crazy for the fact that they're already paying so much to get uploaded there. I'd be so mad.
If I had to pay extra for like soda or snacks or things like that, I mean,
delete my file. I hate it here.
There's you start to think of like in-game purchases or like advertisements. So do companies pay for, like, think of commercials, like commercial space. Mm-hmm. Do they pay for like add stuff so you do get stuff for free occasionally? Well, I actually know the answer to this question, so I'm not even going to approach it. But that's kind of like what things I thought of. Like, just, you had to pay extra, or like if you had the money like in your account, and the thing was his account was being controlled by his girlfriend, whom he didn't really care for too. Like, it was like kind of iffy. So all his purchases had to be cleared through her, which was the crazy thing. We can quickly tell by episode 2. Like, so one of the things, it's a cute show. It stars Stephen Amell. I should have mentioned that from the beginning. Stephen Amell is the Green Arrow's brother, or cousin. He's his cousin. They're cousins. They're not brothers. Somebody else made a comment they were brothers, or so one of them knows. Now I think Stephen might be the Green Arrow. Again, I'm not fact checking this right now, but it has an Amell in it. The less cute Amell. I'll say that.
The less cute Amell?
Yes, he's not as cute.
He's been in a lot of Disney Channel shows. I'm trying to pull his name up.
Yeah, he is. I don't think he's as cute as the Green Arrow, personally. But I'm an Arrow fan, so there's that.
Robbie Amell.
Robbie, yes, Robbie, because Steven is the Green Arrow. So it stars Robbie Amell, so it'll be a familiar face. The rest of the cast, though, like his angel, what was her name? Nora. Love her. She's super funny, super sweet. I think it's pretty obvious from the very onset that she's going to develop feelings for him. Like, she's also got stuff going on in her life. There's this nightly app where it's kind of like Tinder, but someone comes over and they had those little things on them, on their chest, where they had to give consent that they were consenting to sleep together. It's a little futuristic nods to things, and she's kind of like navigating her own like little night life. Not really a dating life, because it's not really a dating app, because they're really just coming over to have sex and like leave.
And to rate each other.
And to rate each other. That was crazy.
I think that was funny when dude walked out. He gave her like 3 stars.
Yeah, he gave her 4 stars. He told her he was gonna give her 5 stars, and he gave her 4. And she had already like given him his 5-star rating. and her dad seems like her mom is gone. Her mom's passed, and her mom seems to have passed before this whole upload thing started. So she's just conventionally dead. Her dad seems to be sick and possibly dying, it seems. And she wants him to be uploaded, and he's like, no, because he wants to be with her mom. Which
is reminiscent of another Black Mirror episode. I'm trying to think about. It's the Black Museum episode, I believe it was. When they were putting the bodies in the teddy bears.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of those.
We're going to do a Black Mirror rewatch. But we're not going to talk about it right now. But that's going to happen. So stay tuned. If you have not seen Black Mirror or watching episodes of Black Mirror, or thinking about watching episodes of Black Mirror, let's come back because we're about to go over some Black Mirror episodes on the next couple episodes of this podcast. So we're going to talk about them because there's some really great ones. And now I want to go back and rewatch them. Because, there's enough new shit out there, but I keep going back and watching old stuff. Because I'm a nostalgic person. But anyway, yeah. So Nora's dad's dying. She wants him to upload, and he's like, no, he wants to die conventionally so he can be reunited with his wife. And she's like, but I want to be able to see you. And what about me? Which is something that people have to deal with death. Is that being left behind thing? Those feelings have to be dealt with, or are there. So they kind of touch on those kind of topics. But that's kind of the gist of the first two episodes. What do you think so far?
So far, I'm going with that his girlfriend either arranged to have him killed just so she could have control over him. That's the only conspiracy that I've jumped onto. So
it's it looks like that. Like, it looks like his girlfriend had something to do with him dying. Hence her rushing him to upload,
and hence her leaving him at the store.
Yeah, that seemed kind of interesting too.
Like, there was no reason for them to be separated or to be in different cars.
Not really. So yeah, there's some definitely some shadiness going on there surrounding his death, and I think it's pretty clear that him and Nora will probably develop feelings for each other, or at least she will develop feelings for him. Her co-worker who sits next to her, another black lady, she's hilarious. Now her, I did look up. She does comedy, and she's been on Def Comedy on HBO. She was a semi-finalist on another stand-up comedy, one of those shows, kind of like America's Got Talent, but for comedians type things. So she's done stand-up stuff. She's hilarious in this series. I love it. This show has some good diversity in it. I do appreciate that as well.
I was trying to figure out how to pronounce her name.
Which one?
Zainab Johnson? The one that you were just speaking about.
Sure.
The black comedian.
We'll run with that. So, definitely, I would recommend Upload. Check it out. It's funny. It's also, if you enjoyed The Good Place, I feel like you'll enjoy.
Very reminiscent of The Good Place.
Yes. Oh, so did you watch The Good Place?
I did watch The Good Place. I didn't finish the show, but I know I got to at least season 2.
Okay. So, if you've watched The Good Place, you'll enjoy this too. Some other things that we've been watching. So, All Day and a Night, you watched it. I did not.
I did watch it. It was a really good movie. It wasn't necessarily one of those, this is just another story about black pain. But I do feel that it is one of those stories that needs to be told, because it starts out with the man from Moonlight, Ashton, I forgot his last name. I just know his first name is Ashton Sanders. I was going to
say Sanford. I knew it was an S, but yeah.
But it opens with Ashton Sanders basically walking into this house and shooting this guy and his girlfriend in front of their daughter. And he just walks out. And the movie is retracing the steps of how they got to that point. And long story short, Ashton Sanders' character, his dad, had been on drugs. And he was in jail at the time. And
Jeffrey Wright, is that his biological dad or is that his stepdad? Because I made it to the part where he was beating him when he was little, to toughen him up. I put that in quotation marks because it had that. It shows how he grew up and what he went through when he was younger. So I thought Jeffrey Wright was his stepdad.
No, that was his biological dad.
Okay.
But yeah, and he ended up getting really heavy into drugs. And come to find out that the guy he killed later in the story when he was younger, it was his dad's drug dealer. And he had told him, he had asked him one day, he was like, hey, can you stop selling my dad drugs, basically? And the guy kind of just laughed him off and was like, your dad's my best customer.
Yeah, I saw that was pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it was one of those full circle stories. But I'm definitely here for anything that Ashton Sanders.
So the drug dealer he killed when he got older was the one that was selling drugs to his dad?
Yeah, and that's why he was like, they asked him, why did you do it? And he just wouldn't give them a reason.
Oh, see.
And that's what it was.
I didn't watch this movie because I was already in a tough space with everything going on with, recent shootings and things. So I just was not in a space to where I could sit here and watch this movie and take it in and possibly even enjoy it. I just didn't feel like sitting there crying. Cause that's what was gonna happen. I was gonna watch and just cry. And I didn't want to do that at that moment. Because I saw up to that part when he was in the court and they were asking that question, and because I again stopped it, restarted it a few times, and put on the things to kind of try to maybe help get through it, but I couldn't. But it looks good, and I'm with you. Anything that Ashton Sanders is in, I kind of want to watch. I've not done Native Son yet, though.
Native Son is really good. It makes you want to go read the book if you haven't already.
I read the book. So yes, All Day and Night is on Netflix. What else? Anything else you watching?
Anything else?
I've just gone back and started rewatching old shit. I'm redoing Sons.
I'm rewatching The Office for the 6th time. I haven't really been watching many shows as of late. I've been consumed by The Witcher 3.
So that's all I've been doing. You've been consumed by The Witcher 3, and I've been playing the shit out of Call of Duty. So on that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we will be right back with the back half of this podcast, which is all about video games. This week's episode of House of Blurs podcast is brought to you by
us.
Yeah, it's brought to you by us. And if you would like to help us sustain this here podcast, here's a few ways to do so.
First up is by subscribing to this podcast, rating and leaving a comment on whatever app you're listening to. Second is by sharing the link to this podcast on your social media. If you're on Twitter, make sure to use the hashtag PodIn. That's a now listening hashtag that lets other people know that you're listening, and it's a great way to find other podcasts by creators of color. If you would like to help us out with a little coin in 2020 to keep this thing going, you can donate via PayPal, and that's House of Blurs on PayPal. We keep it easy. All one word. If you want to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/House of Blurs, there you can choose to donate as little as $1 a month or more. No amount is too small. And all support is greatly appreciated.
Yes, and again, thanks for listening, and now back to the show. All right, welcome back to the second half of this here podcast. And we are going to talk about Summer Game Fest, which kicked off this week. Summer Game Fest, again, which we touched on a little bit last episode, is brought to us by Jeff Keighley, who is the creator of the Game Awards. Now, there's a few different Game Awards out there, but the only Game Awards that anyone cares about is the one made by Jeff Keighley. So, it's the big one that happens at the end of the year. We kind of commented before about Summer Game Fest possibly getting E3 up out of here, and I think that E3 has been dying for a little while now, unfortunately, which is sad because I want to go to an E3. I really wanted to go to an E3. But it's been on the downturn for a while now. PlayStation hasn't been to the last 2 E3s, 2 or 3, I think. Nintendo essentially doesn't really do a big show at E3 anymore. They just do their Nintendo Direct Clubhouse style thing, which has worked well for them. And, companies just realizing it saves money. And with so many other conventions, do we really need an E3? Is that more money we really need to put out?
To promote these games,
yes.
Basically.
And I think in the past, E3 had been really game community, focused as far as the people who went were, developers and things like that, more so than the public. And over the last few years, it's opened up more to the public. And they're opening up more to the public, obviously, probably to make more money. But again, you've got PAX West, and you've got the PAXs. PAX is doing well. PAX West, PAX East, PAX South, which happens in San Antonio, which is more so tech and indie game, as opposed. It's definitely not as big as PAX East and PAX West by any means. And then there is another PAX that happens in Philly, which I forget what that's totally focused on, but it is more of a smaller niche PAX as well. But anyway, so you have conventions, and you have New York Comic Con, and you have Comic Con itself, and all of the big studios show up at
each and every single one of them.
Yes. So these are spread out enough. And then you have GameStop's manager show, which that's not happening this year either, obviously. There's a lot of shit. And nothing's happening this year. But previously, that event, which while not open... Well, no, actually, previously it used to be open to the public. Last year, I believe, was the first year... Or the year before last, because my first conference, going to a GameStop manager show, was the first year, I believe, that it was closed off to the public. Previously, the way they would do it, where it was the expo hall would have like one day where it was all just GameStop managers, stuff like that, and then it would be open to the public. But they ended up closing that off to the public anyway as well. But so you have all of these events and expos that the developers and the studios go to get the stuff out there, and it's expensive. So E3, it was just like, do we really need this one that's in June, like in the middle of the year? What are we doing? So anyway, coronavirus stuck a nail in E3, and Jeff Keighley is bringing us Summer Gaming Fest, which kicked off this week, and it started with the Xbox showcase. So
we've got our new roll of Xbox games coming out.
Yeah, so now, not all of these were Xbox exclusives, but there was some good shit in there. Like, I was okay with this Xbox showcase. Like, I liked it. I don't know who does Xbox's like game video editing stuff, but I personally always like their little videos at the end. Like, whenever they do commercials, like Xbox commercials to their music, I feel like it's always done really well. So those I always like. But anyway, so let's just talk about the games that were shown during Xbox. We got Scorn, which is a
very Alien-esque game.
First-person horror shooter, or first-person horror. You got story. You got puzzles. It looks scary as fuck though. Like, I'm looking forward to it.
It looks really beautiful as well.
Yes.
Like, it's got that Alien-esque look.
It does, and it was first debuted in 2014. So since 2014, this game has been being teased. It's from Ebb Software. So I think there was no release date on it still. I think initially maybe people thought it was just going to be a PC game, but it looks like this is going to be an Xbox PC exclusive. So this will definitely be a Xbox Series X title. This is not going to be an Xbox One X title. Although one of the things that Xbox talked about, I don't know if it was in the showcase or prior, they're future-proofing their games. So if you buy something on Xbox One, let's just say Xbox One right now, you buy a game. I know Halo Infinite's going to be a Series X title. Whatever you're playing on your Xbox One X right now. Or, yeah, you buy that, and I hate that it's the One X and the Series X. Like, why couldn't they have given it a different fucking name? Like,
Series X is the new one, correct?
Yes, the Series X and the One X.
Like, I don't understand why they didn't just stick with the Scarlet.
I don't know, but just gonna fucking name something a little more different, because it's gonna fuck me up, this whole thing. But whatever. So, or Xbox One versus Series X. That's next gen. That's what we're gonna call their next gen console. Series X, current gen is Xbox One. So you buy an Xbox One game. If they make a Series X version of it, you will not have to re-buy it. And then whatever they do down the line, if they make other generations of games, you will not have to re-buy that same game when you go to load it. So when you log in with your Xbox Live account and you enter your Series X and you are updating your library, download your shit, it will automatically give you the best version of that game that's available. So there's nothing else you should need to do. It'll do it itself, is what my understanding of that is. So that's pretty cool.
It's like, that's pretty smart, because I think now, like, we're realizing how much nostalgia does play into the video games that we play, and how easy it is for you to remaster a game, make money off of it. I don't want to buy
Oblivion again. I have bought that game too many times. I don't want to do it again. Yo, can we get an Oblivion? You know, I just want Bethesda. No, I'm not even gonna talk. We're not gonna talk Bethesda right now. We're not even gonna get into it. I'm just gonna stop myself. I'm gonna pull myself back before I go off the deep end. So, Scorn looks absolutely amazing if you like horror games, because it's gonna be fucking scary. Like, it's beautiful. It's scary.
Looks like New Age Dead Space in a way.
Yes. If this does maintain an Xbox, if this is an Xbox exclusive, I'm not even gonna lie, this will be the reason why I continue to pay for Game Pass. Will be to play this game. I will continue to rock with Game Pass. So they also showed Second Extinction, which is
Jurassic Park with guns.
It's a first person shooter that looks like, yes, it's like fucking Jurassic World. Not Jurassic Park, but Jurassic World. Because you've got dinosaurs running all around this bitch. So that seems like definitely a dope concept. I didn't really get from the trailer whether or not it was going to be like set in the future and dinosaurs come back, or if we're in the past, because they had guns, so it couldn't be a past thing, and it's called Second Extinction. So let's just assume Jurassic Park happens and then the fucking dinosaurs actually got the fuck out. Like, what are we dealing with now? That's kind of the vibe I was getting from this game. Seems pretty dope. That one, I believe, though, is an Xbox exclusive as well. We got more Valhalla,
which I'm looking forward to, but I am, because I like the Viking time period. Okay. I like Vikings, but I don't feel the need for another Assassin's Creed game. Yeah. I kind of want them to just do period games, and that's perfectly fine.
You know what? And we said this. I'm not going to keep saying it to death that I don't feel like it's I don't want to say it's. I said it was not an Assassin's Creed game, and it is a Viking game with an Assassin's Creed title. But since then, I might have to walk that back, because evidently the people who did Ezio did this, which explains why at the end of that original trailer we got, he had the wrist blade. So there's definitely going to be some tie-in to. I think this is probably going to bring it full circle back to Ezio.
I did see that they were bringing back the, like, you know how in Assassin's Creed it's like you were in the simulation and then you would come out and be like the actual person. They were bringing that aspect back to the game, so you could be right about that.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna have to walk that back. But again, no gameplay for a game that's coming out in November. Now, again, Summer Gaming Fest is 4 months long, so I feel like at some point later on this summer we're gonna see actual gameplay of this. It's coming in November. So, yeah. This is one of the actual next-gen titles. So this will be on PS5 and Series X. Another game that I'm really excited about was Chorus. It is a space flight combat game. Space flight combat shooter. The fucking trailer is absolutely amazing. I got the feel of Star Wars Battlefront 2. I got what's that other game I just bought that I ain't played with the Control. There was feelings of Control in this game. I played some of Control. I ain't played all. I ain't finished it yet. I ain't finished shit, but whatever. I felt Control in this game. Like, literally, when there was a part where she's like walking on this platform and it's red and black and like the ground is coming together under her feet, gave me Control feels. Like, it made me want to pick up Control. It reminded me I need to finish Control, basically. But it's stunning. It's made by Silverfish Studios? Silverfish Labs. Take that back. It's made by Silverfish Labs is the studios that it's coming from. They've done some other games. There's a actual publisher called Silverfish, and then there's Silverfish Labs, the development company. So there's two under the name, but whatever. So this one I am going to be playing day one. It will be a PS5 and a Series X game. So this was the second of the next gen games that we now have. There's more than these two next gen games, but out of these announcements, these were the two confirmed next gen games. But we'll circle back to that in a minute. We see Yakuza Like a Dragon, which has been out on PlayStation since January, on PS4, is coming to Xbox One and Series X later on this year. Scarlet Nexus. It is a JRPG, is what it looks like. It's made by Bandai Namco. It is a future, psionic soldier, and they're battling like invisible threats, is kind of the synopsis of this. So futuristic Japan, very anime style.
It's kind of, it gives me Final Fantasy vibes, but with more of an anime look. That's what I was getting from the trailer. Yeah,
because at first, when I first did the trailer, I was like, ooh, I kind of want to play this game, and I'm not the biggest JRPG anime player. And then it started showing gameplay, and I was like, I don't know if I want to play this anymore.
And that's the thing, because I feel like it was like that with Jump Force too. Like, Jump Force looks so cool.
I fucking love Jump Force, though. Just because, like, I get to go ahead with Goku. And it's not linear. But we're not going to talk about my love for Jump Force. So, I fucking love Jump Force. Can we talk about the Naruto fucking multiple thingies in Jump Force?
The Shadow Clone Jutsu?
Yes! I was kicking ass in Jump Force. Like, that's the only fighting game I'm good at. I am trash at everything else except for Jump Force.
It's called Naruto's multiple thingies.
You knew what I was talking about. Anyway, so reeling it back in to Scarlet Nexus by Bandai Namco. Futuristic, it's like tech meets psychic abilities is what this little character has. I also saw I felt it probably had some hack and slash aspects to it. So, I don't know, I'll probably check it out. I'm not opposed to it. It looks cool though. It does look cool. Like, I liked the trailer a lot. It had these flower aliens, like the aliens that came down, because it said the others are here, was like how this trailer opened. And I liked it. Like, it did draw me in. So, I'll probably check it out when we look closer. I don't think that had a release date. Or no, I think that had a 2021 release date on it.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So, wrapping up that Xbox. No, there's other stuff in the Xbox thing. There was a game called, like, I'm not even going to it because I didn't write shit down because I didn't plan on talking about it. But anyway, there was a game that kind of reminded me of Sea of Thieves. There's another Sea game coming out.
Oh, it was...
Sea of Life, what's it called?
No, yeah, it was...
Life of the Sea, something
like that. But I know it had a woman on it.
But it gave me Sea of Thieves vibes, which, if you've listened to previous episodes, I fucks with Sea of Thieves. So, the other game that they showcased that I am going to play is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 from Hardsuit Labs. This is also going to be on all of the systems as well, all of the consoles. So it's going to be on PS4. This is a PS4 title, which means we're probably getting, it said no, I just said PS4, didn't say PS5 in this one, I don't think. All of these trailers will be available on our Twitter, and I will probably put them on Instagram if I can. They'll just be on our Twitter. So check out our Twitter, House of Blurds. You can find all of these trailers if you have not, the actual trailers for the individual games, not just the Xbox announcement trailer, but I'm going to post the individual trailers because all of these individual trailers are really good and deserve their own shine. So that's pretty much what came out of the Xbox. Oh, anyway, so Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2 looks fucking dope.
It does. It looks really fun. And I feel like I was too young to play the first Vampire when it came out, but I've watched the gameplays and I really enjoyed it. And I hope they keep it to where it's like, you know how you like, this was the game where you get to choose what kind of vampire you wanted to be, correct? Yeah, like I hope they keep that aspect in there.
Yeah, it looks pretty dope. So I'm that was the one that really caught my eye for real during all of this. So we got that during the Xbox show. And then that was followed up a day or two later by the... next we got the Tony Hawk announcement. So Tony Hawk Pro Skaters 1 and 2 are being remastered. And it's the same team that remastered Crash Bandicoot or Crash Team Racing is the same team that is remastering this. So... Again, they showed trailer for it, like the old versus new, which just like they did with Crash Team Racing, how they did that. So, I mean, we're getting Tony Hawk's coming back.
Tony Hawk's coming back. I'm hoping it segues into Skate 4. I hope this shows them how much we want it. That's what I'm coming here for.
Skate 4 is happening at some time, Armani.
I hope so, because it's like...
I think all the other skateboarding games just
no, but they're just not the same. It's like saying that Naruto fighting game is comparable to Mortal Kombat. Shinobi Strikers is comparable to Mortal Kombat as far as just
yeah,
because it's like that same concept where you just press like 2 or 3 buttons and it's like you're doing a multitude of tricks, but there's no real You know how hard it was to master the tricks on Skate 4?
Pairing Shinobi Striker to Mortal Kombat.
I'm just saying, like, in the level of just difficulty, like, you can't both, they're not both fighting games.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't actually happening in the world. So, anyway, we got the Unreal Engine 5 demo. So, this is the first time that we have gotten full-on PS5 gameplay. And it was fucking amazing. Like, I was in awe. And Unreal Engine pretty much runs, like, everything is damn near done on an Unreal Engine at this point in gaming. Mm-hmm. And to see this Unreal Engine 5 running, there were parts of this where you could not tell if it was real or if it was digital art. Like, it just looked like the rocks. Like, as they were going through it and they're talking about it, it's a great video. Definitely recommend checking it out if you're into any kind of tech or, like, gaming. And it's done in 8K. It's all rendered in 8K, which we don't even have 8K TVs, so...
Good luck to that.
It's going to look phenomenal. We're not going to talk about 8K television because I'm not going to. So it is all rendered, and it's done in 8K because all the next-gen consoles are supporting 8K. Or running in 8K, and just the depth of the graphics and we get to see what ray tracing is, because we keep hearing all this stuff about like ray tracing and like, what the fuck is ray tracing? It's still like I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck is a teraflop. But ray tracing, we see it in action as this female character is moving through this world. And we see it in the light, in the way she walks through the water, and the way the water ripples, and the light's reflection in the water. And it's just the depth of it, which is what we figured next-gen consoles would be. Like, we knew this was coming.
Like, they look like movies at this point now.
We're playing fucking movies. Now, again, this was a demo. Call it a demo if you want to. It was a demo made by Unreal and Epic Games. I looked at this and I watched it and I just screamed in my heart, Horizon Zero Dawn 2. We know it's coming. We know it's coming. The world knows Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is coming. But just the world in this game and the way this woman was moving through it, I just made my heart, like, it just made me even more excited for Horizon Zero Dawn 2. So I cannot wait for Horizon Zero Dawn 2. But yeah, it looks exciting. So we know that everything that's going to... all these next-gen games are going to be fucking amazing looking. We know that. Like, that's not even a question. But that was pretty dope to actually watch that and have them break down the technology and what you're seeing in the art and stuff like that. So you can check that out.
Have we touched on Hellblade 2 yet? Have we talked about that at all?
We have not talked about Hellblade 2 at all.
Hellblade 2. Well,
when was the Hellblade 2 announcement?
I feel like I've been seeing that trailer for a while, but every time I see that trailer, I watch it.
We got Hellblade 2 was announced during last year's Game Awards. That's where we saw the Hellblade 2 trailer. We haven't seen shit since. That's the problem.
I've still been seeing that. I feel like I recently, because Xbox showed it on.
I think there was like a glimpse of it during. No, I think that was Chorus. I thought it was Hellblade 2, but I feel like that might have been the Chorus like snippet, because the chick had the letters and stuff written underneath her eyes.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to pull it up now without that.
Although I think there was something in there. I thought it was Hellblade as well, because I thought that game was Hellblade, and then it said.
I never mind. I don't even know why they had this at the top of their site. This was 5 months ago, but again, I'm also very excited for Hellblade.
Okay. Yeah. Wait a minute. That's like, yeah, we've seen that trailer, but you're right. We haven't seen anything since the Game Awards when they showed Hellblade 2, which is also going to be next gen, presumably. That then brings us to, we had the PlayStation State of Play happened. And from the start, they straight up told us that it was going to be Ghost of Tsushima. So
we got some actual gameplay footage.
20 solid minutes of Ghost of Tsushima. 2020 game of the motherfucking year, Ghost of Tsushima. 20 minutes of solid gameplay. I mean, if you can't tell, July 17th, I'm going to be MIA. I mean, I'll be working, I guess. But I'm going to get PTO. I mean, Friday. Oh, wait. What day of the week is that?
July 7th.
I'm going to assume that's a Friday, because who's releasing games on the weekend? I don't think anyone's releasing games on the weekend.
July 7th, it's a Friday. So that weekend, it's my birthday weekend anyway, but I'm gonna be fucking MIA, like point blank period. I'm taking PTO the following week because we're gonna have to support that week of. We blitzing in stores. I'm taking PTO the following week because I'm going to sit my ass still and I'm going to play the fuck out of Ghost of Tsushima. This made me even more excited for it. Like, Sucker Punch is about to like come back and be the fucking golden child of PlayStation Studios. Like, that's what this game is trying to do. I think they can achieve it. Even in a year where we're getting Last of Us 2, I still feel like Sucker Punch was like, yo, I understand y'all been on Naughty Dog for a minute, but like, and Insomniac did they motherfucking thing with Spider-Man, but here we are, and we ain't gone nowhere. That's what I feel like, and I'm so excited. So we see that one Jin is customizable, so different suits as Jin and then as the Ghost, so you can customize his outfit, so what he's wearing. Straight off the bat, game launches, you can choose the Japanese soundtrack. So you can play the game where it's in Japanese with English subtitles. We were told that, I think during E3, or I don't know. I don't know, a previous thing that was talked about, that's going to be an option. But what we did discover this week is that you also have an option to play this shit in black and white. Like traditional black and white Japanese movie style. And with the full graininess of Japanese movies. You have the option to play this game that way. Do you understand? Oh my God. Like, and then like the movement, you can call the wind to help you and like show you like directionally. Cause that was one of the things, there's no waypoints in this game. Like that was a big thing. There's no waypoints. So, and that was concerning to me because I'm like, I don't know where I'm going in Red Dead with a waypoint. Like, I suck in Mafia with waypoints. Like, I'm a bad driving direction heifer. Like, when it comes to getting around in games. So when they said there was no waypoints, I was just like, this world is huge. How the fuck do you know where to go? Well, you call the wind. The wind will show you the way. Birds show you the way. So evidently Jin can also communicate with nature, which is kind of cool and dope. I was getting Pocahontas vibes, but
and foxes,
yo, like nature helps you. I fully appreciated the fact that he was able to grab up that bamboo without getting off that horse. So, because if anyone plays Red Dead, you know how fucking annoying it is to have to keep getting off the goddamn horse to get your herbs and stuff. So, I fully appreciated Jin did not have to get off the horse to grab that bamboo. It was beautiful. It was amazing. The fighting in it. I mean, we've seen fighting scenes. It's not the first time we've seen an actual gameplay fight scene from Ghost. But yeah, it was beautiful. It was 20 minutes of just amazingness. So yeah, I'm excited for Ghost of Tsushima. What'd you think?
I mean, it looks fun. Like, I feel like now, because I'm playing The Witcher, everything just reminds me of The Witcher. And as far as look-wise. Mm-hmm. But then again, it is... hold up.
There will be a photo cinematic mode on this, of course. I think at this point, every game coming out forever is going to have a cinematic photo mode. Because in-game, like, photography is a thing on the internet. Again, we touched on this when I was talking about going back and finishing Days Gone, which everyone will be happy to know I still have not finished. So, but the cinematic, those photo modes, I can't wait to play with photo mode in this game. It's going to be glorious what comes out of this game. What people create, what people capture, I can't wait to see it. I'm going to be sharing the shit out of it. So, yeah. I'm not going to compare this to Omnimushu in any way because it is not anything like Omnimushu. I just love samurai games. Mm-hmm.
So, and it's been a while since we got a good, like...
And we've never had an open world samurai game. This is an open world game. Granted, it's on an island, but it's the open world, so... All right. Do you have anything else about Ghost of Tsushima? Ghost of Tsushima releases on July 17th, and it is a PS4 title. Then, last but not least, kind of wrapping this whole thing up, Naughty Dog announced that they're going to do weekly inside The Last of Us 2 videos. So this first one talks about the story, where we're at. These are going to launch Wednesday, so you can find them on YouTube, on Naughty Dog's channel. If you follow Naughty Dog on Twitter, they're going to post them there. If you follow any of the Naughty Dog crew, obviously they're going to repost them. If you follow us, we're going to repost them, or at least I repost them on my personal page. We'll repost them there too. But anyway, so this first one talks about like where we are at the start of The Last of Us 2. Ellie's now 19. First off, let me roll this back. If you own a PlayStation 3, if you've ever owned a PlayStation 3, if you own a PlayStation 4 currently, and you have not played The Last of Us, this is Mount Rushmore of PlayStation games. If you don't have this in your library at this point, I don't understand. The only people who don't, I would say, who probably... Nah, because I know people who literally only play like Madden and 2K and things like that, but they've played The Last of Us. So I feel like if you own a PlayStation, you should own The Last of Us. For sure. Like, it's Mount Rushmore game when it comes to PlayStation. So anyway, we've seen the trailers leading up to now. We all know that there's something happens to Dina, who is Ellie's love interest. There's no spoilers here. Everything that we're going to talk about has been shown in a trailer. We will not be doing any spoilers. I hate people who do spoilers. We know that things have allegedly been leaked. Again, we're not going to talk about those. We're just going to talk about what's been shown in the trailer. So we know there's Dina, which is Ellie's love interest, and something happens to her. I have my speculations. Personally, I think Dina gets murked because Ellie is really, really mad, and we know that she's on a journey of revenge. Like, we know this is a revenge story. And I feel like the only thing that would drive Ellie to react the way she does is if Dina died. Like, I don't feel like Ellie would be this angry if Dina had just got hurt or beat up really bad. Like, do you agree with that? I mean,
I do agree.
Okay. So
I didn't play the first game. I couldn't get into The Last of Us. Like, even watching the playthroughs.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the last episode, Armani's last episode of House of Blurs. I hope you all have enjoyed her being here. Okay, whatever. So, you don't like action movies either. Okay, fine. Anyway, so, yeah. I don't even know what to do. I'm going to edit all this shit out. So, something happens to Dina, and that takes Ellie on, or there's a violent event. In the trailers, we've seen Ellie and Dina riding, and someone like attacks them, and we assume that Dina is very hurt and or killed. So, but I also feel like Naughty Dog is good at the setup, the bait and switch when it comes to stories. So Dina might not be dead, and Ellie could just be that mad. So, and there's other characters. Joel's brother and his wife that from the first game, if you played the first game.
I watched the first 10 minutes, so I know that Joel's brother just ran out the house. That's all I know.
Ellie's journey for revenge takes her to Seattle. So we get the landscapes in the first Last of Us were very beautiful, very well done and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see what this one looks like. Of course, it's gonna be pretty. But it takes her to Seattle. So that's where this video just kind of shows us like where we are in the world of The Last of Us now. They're gonna put out one of these weekly on Wednesdays. So yeah. Last of Us 2 releases June 19th. So we are just over a month away from The Last of Us 2 being released. So yeah, try to avoid spoilers if you can. Stay away from the comment sections on videos if you're looking forward to The Last of Us 2. That's just your best bet. I just avoid all the spoilers. I don't want to see them.
Make sure you mute it on Twitter if you can.
Yeah. Again,
you know how to do that.
Just mute it if you want to. It's the best bet. So yeah, it's kind of. Is there anything from is there any gaming announcements that you were looking forward to? hopefully that come out of the summer gaming series?
Gaming. I am looking forward to Scorn. Most of all, I love a good horror game.
Okay. Any previous titles that you, or anything personal other than Skate?
Hellblade.
And Hellblade?
Hellblade 2. I feel like it's just because of that trailer. Like, I haven't seen a video game trailer that really kind of just caught me like that one did. Like, the music, the cuts. Like, it had a real Outlast 2 vibe to it. Mm-hmm. And that was a really fun game. So, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. I am waiting for Ubisoft to give me Watch Dogs Legion. Like, I
forgot about that.
So did everybody else, evidently.
I had just seen something for it too, and it's like it's kind of weird. And I think it also shows just how dedicated some of these studios are with marketing. Mm-hmm. Like, not to talk down on any of them, but it's like in this quarantine, I've seen maybe 2 or 3 Watch Dog trailers come across my timeline.
For Legion?
For Legion. That's the one where you get to add anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I understand why I got pushed back, because, again, no one wants to deal with the Fallout 76 release. Ugh. No one wants to go through that again. So I appreciate pushing it back, because if you're going to have this, you're going to talk about, all this grandeur of everything we're going to be able to do in this game with controlling everybody in it is a controllable character
with their own storyline,
with their own story. That's a lot of work. So
I totally forgot about Fallout 76.
Take your time, because it is a lot. So I feel like this might fall till October. I think it might fall to a next gen release title. I don't feel like it's going to be on a next gen engine. Like, I don't feel like it was being made on a next gen engine from the gate, but we could just get some like next gen style. Like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna like make everything look better anyway. Mm-hmm. Either way, I mean, this gen where we're at right now with games, the way they look and the way they feel is amazing. So there's not like there's gonna be any loss if it falls to October. But at this point, I feel like it's gonna fall to October.
And we're willing to wait for these games if you're giving us quality games. That's why I don't understand the rushes. But I get trying to get it out before holidays and everything. But
yeah, you want it out before Black Friday. That's why I say October. All of these will hit the streets by October. If it ain't by October, then Death Stranding came out in December, but it was Kojima, so he could do that. Kojima does what he wants. Yeah, I just want to know what's going on with Watch Dogs Legions. That was one of the games I was anticipating and really looking forward to this summer. Looking forward to playing. So, well, on that note,
I think that's a podcast.
That is a podcast. So make sure to like, rate, subscribe to this here podcast. Share this podcast with your friends and families on your social medias. Take some time to check out our Twitter page, where again we're going to post these trailers. Check out I'm not going to drop any hashtags because like right now I just kind of avoid shit. But Summer Gamefest on Twitter and Facebook. You follow if you're following these announcements, and we will be back with more as they unveil. So until next time, take care of yourselves and be good to each other.